So I just bought 2 of these Justin Bieber company NFTs. I don't know. Feels like, I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to reply. This is going to be like, takes 1 million streams to get 1 cent. It also is a security. It's kind of, I don't know. There's like a dividend. This is a weird one. I was like, all right, let me buy 2 of these things and just figure out what's what with it. Clemente, you have it too?
No, I couldn't buy it. I didn't have the VPN set up, so it was blocked in the US.
I don't have a VPN set up. I just bought it.
Oh, you can buy it off OpenSea, but
is that where you bought it? OpenSea didn't mint them?
Oh, is it still minting?
No.
Oh,
minted out.
Yeah, I just bought it on the secondary. There you go.
It is a banger, though. I will say, you were playing it just now. I'm like, yeah, this is like a phenomenal song. That album 7 years ago, I remember when it came out. He's got a couple other really good songs. What Do You Mean is also in there. I think. Oh shit. Yeah, it's all great songs. Love Yourself, 2 billion views on Spotify. I mean, all phenomenal songs.
It feels like a pretty normal Justin Bieber song to me. I don't think it was extra special. But it is unique that they're actually doing this on the base chain. That was the first purchase that I had on the base chain. The bridge to base did not take very long. And I just Googled base chain bridge and basically shut my eyes and hoped that my wallet didn't get drained when I clicked on the first link. It was a .org link. I figured I'd be fine with it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that, like, who is the person? A commenter Alfalfa said, when it comes to Bieber, I buy first and ask questions later. You're not wrong. I got vinyls of Justin Bieber just hanging on the wall, you know? No, I'm just kidding. Bunny, you got your hand raised. What's going on?
Did you guys really buy this?
I just bought 2 of them.
Wow, dude, so it's got 170 million streams all over 8 years. The next 100 million streams, you're gonna get $2 for owning that NFT.
All right.
Exactly.
No, first of all, that I saw that tweet, and it has 500,000 streams on just Spotify. So first off, that number was just completely wrong. Let's put some respect.
Million or 1,000?
500 million.
Got it.
Okay, but how many do you need to make any money off of this? And like,
do it. Let's go. This is what I wanted. Do the math.
No number, Nick. There's no number of streams that this, like, unless it became like the Mariah Carey Christmas song. Like, dude, there's literally no scenario where you make $1 off of the NFT.
Do the math. Bring it on. I want to hear it from all you guys. Do the math.
Nobody listens to that song, Theo.
Couldn't you just go? You could have gone and played it on Spotify and saved yourself $50.
No, you can't listen to the song if you don't have the NFT.
What are you talking about,
Nick?
No, it's true. It's true. It's true now. They just decided that you're banned, and they verify your wallet. They send you a drainer link to take it out of the wallet for each play.
That's what NFT people want. They want you to not be able to listen to the song without the NFT, so that nobody will ever listen to the song again.
It plays at like a bar, and you're like, hey, like, I own this song. But I
Where's
didn't.
the DJ?
Music industry people are going to be like, yeah, so we're interested in selling this thing that rewards our NFT holders more than us printing cash right now. Like, they're in like a back room being like, we're going to dump this bullshit. People think that owning music is a good asset class. They're going to learn that's stupid. And so we're going to issue a bunch of things, get upfront cash that they can go and buy treasuries with, make 6% interest, and just outperform all the dumb idiots that bought this NFT. Pia, why? So what are you going to do with the NFT now?
Well, I just figured that the music industry people, no one knows NFTs better than them, just based on what I've seen in the market so far. So I figured, what could go wrong? And you're asking me what I'm going to do with my NFT. I'm going to do the same thing I do with all the other NFTs. I'm going to bring it with me on a walk. I'm going to use it to clear up this rash that I have on my rib cage right now. I'm going to have it mow my lawn. I mean, isn't that what you do with NFTs?
Yeah.
I did the math though, real quick. So they sold Nick, just so you know, they sold 1% of the royalties for this song at $28 a pop. They sold 2,000 NFTs. So they sold 56,000 dollars worth of royalties. I did the rough math on it. I might be totally wrong, but they need
Do the math.
120 million streams on Spotify in order for you to break even. Just on Spotify.
Hold on one sec. So I don't. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's not the fact that you get any money out of it is actually kind of interesting. But the separate side of this, how much money did they generate?
$56,000.
They only sold $56,000 of NFTs.
Yeah, is 1% of the royalties will split up.
I'm not talking about royalties. I'm like, how much did the person who created this NFT just make?
Yeah,
they made $56,000. Justin Bieber, this whole drop, $56,000.
Probably wasn't Bieber though. You have to think this is probably like one of the ghostwriters or producers or like a third party entity that owns the 1% of this royalty. Music is broken up. Royalty percentages get broken up and diluted to high hell. Like the person who created the snare drum that was used on the back of the beat gets a percentage. So it's probably someone like that who was like, screw this. I'm selling my 1%. I'm going to get my $50K check and forget I even did anything with this song that hasn't been played in 5 years.
Nick, you're thinking about it the wrong way. Justin
Nick, you don't get it, dude.
Yeah, Nick, Justin Bieber is going to sue the people that made this NFT. That's the way you have to think about it. He's going to sue them because they weren't supposed to do this.
This organization, I think The Block is the people who are selling this. They released Bitch Better Have My Money by Rihanna right before the Super Bowl when she performed last year. And that pumped to like 1.5 ETH. And then it actually got delisted from OpenSea because the title of the collection had the word bitch in it. So you could only buy it on Blur.
Another block.
Another block. The Block is the news site. You can sell
a full scam on OpenSea, but if you use a curse word, dude, they're coming after you.
I want to know. So whale.swoosh and the three people I saw tweet this is breaking news. Huge story going on. How much did they get paid to promote this shit? Sorry. So 56. Are you kidding me that they only made $56,000?
Nick, you wouldn't get it, dude. You just don't get it. You don't understand.
Well, I am actually interested. Like, it feels like no one sells NFTs for $56K. That's a very small primary sale. It's pretty interesting. Wow.
So yeah, it's 2,000 of these times 2750, $55,000. So that. What is going on? This is like, I guess this is a promotion for another block is actually the main point of this thing is that they're just trying to get attention on their platform.
Oh, they care about this space. They're trying to provide value and they're trying to build long-term value in this space, Nick. That's what they're trying to do. So.
You know what? Like, I'm actually shocked. Maybe they actually are. Like, maybe my cynicism
makes the most sense.
Is like unwarranted. Maybe this company actually made something cool.
Guys, we're in the bottom of the bear market and we're at a point where people, if you drop an NFT now and you're in the space now, you actually see like real long-term opportunity, and you're going to start seeing people drop stuff and make like 30K or like they're going to lose money on the drop. And it's just because they're like, no, actually we see a lot of value here. We're going to build over the next 6 years. And people like us who are just, we're so scarred. We have wounds all over us from the $40 million Azuki drop and all these people that were just like, that money's mine. Give me that money. That's mine. That we're going to just miss all this stuff where it's like, no, like we're investing in the space over the next 8 years and we're not going to be stopping. Bunny has his hand raised. What's going on, Bunny?
Okay, I'm looking. Somebody else is saying that you need 14 million streams to break even. So somebody's math is way off here.
Everyone's math is way off. Everyone that buys NFTs can't do math. If there's anything I know
this to make money, then you're like, let's just start with. This probably is going to be your breakout multi-million-dollar cash flow opportunity. Like, let's just start there. It could be 100,000 streams. It could be 50 billion streams that are required for you to go make $5. Whatever the math is being done, like the way that the math is being done is definitively the way that you would as a dividend security. Like, I just want to be clear. Like, that's actually maybe the bigger problem associated with this whole thing. Yeah. Is I'm like, damn, you only made 50 grand to issue a security like that. That's pretty good. Like that's, I mean, these people are like clearly thinking about the long term here, I don't know, like, so what's the payout process? Like, do you go connect the NFT to some site, or do they just airdrop it?
The cage at the casino.
What?
Say it again, buddy.
You got to drive to the cage at the casino to pick up your money.
They pay it out every
Las Vegas.
6 months. Nick, is how it works.
Yeah, but how do I get it? Like, where are they writing me a check for $2? Like what? Like what's
is it on Base? Do they distribute it on the Base chain? Is Base gasless? I've not. This is the first time I've used Base. What's
like
the story?
Pio, I just want to like clarify this situation. So Pio just bought the thing, saw that this NFT was going on, is like, cool. And now we're asking all the questions that had we been like prepared for this moment, we'd probably have the answers for. But we're like, oh, let's ask a simple question. How many streams does it take to make some money? And we're just like, I don't know, like we're like literally 5 of the minutes of us talking to be like, okay, carry the 2, divide by 7. We're not prepared. Next question.
I'm fine with it.
How do I get the money? No fucking clue. We have no idea how you do it. Maybe someone can let us know how this is actually accomplished, but it's not clear at the moment. I'm assuming you got to go to another block.io, the site that has this, connect your wallet. And there's some sort of approach to as music rights.
I can't connect my wallet because I'm not in the US. Or if you're in the US, you're blocked from connecting your wallet to the site.
Yeah, you got a VPN. I mean, Clemente, you need to have a VPN. That goes without saying. Nick, the funniest thing is right before you joined, before we went live, we were joking about NFT people buying this NFT and then shilling the song. Do you know what I mean? Like just being like, yo, this song's hot. like, dude, that's gonna happen. I was actually talking to the guy that lives in our building, Nick, or in my building that I'm not gonna say his name because we bumped into each other the other day or yesterday, and we were walking and we were talking about why people that make scam projects in the NFT space get away with it. And it's because the people that buy the NFT then own it. They own the NFT. And even if it's the most absurd scam ever, like it's a confirmed scam, they'll defend it. They'll be like, it's a community project now because they own it. Like they'll defend the thing that they own. So it doesn't even matter if people scam you because then the people that own the NFT will like defend it to the grave. So the idea of people like shilling a song is pretty damn funny to me. Just like telling all their friends like, yo, the song's hot. Also, just, I know people are going to play the song on Spotify on repeat, like all day in the background and view that as like doing work. Like, yeah, I'm doing something good for myself because I'm playing this random ass song on Spotify on repeat.
Well, that's actually the same thing happening with Twitter right now is like, dude, paying people money to tweet is the dumbest thing that has ever happened to Twitter. Hold on, before you jump in, my feed is trash because everyone's giving fucking advice on how to live life so that they can get another 1,500 views on their impressions, all in the hopes that they can make $10 in monetization off of Twitter, when in reality, they could have just cold emailed 3 people and probably made $10,000 like to like actually offer some value to somebody. But instead they're like reply guying to someone's image. Let's go with like thread guy posts the picture of him holding a basketball and 3,000 people reply, all hoping that they get 500 views from a fucking photo of thread guy holding a basketball. And this is their path to fabulous wealth. When in reality, this is a trap. This is like saying that you can make money doing drugs, and you're like, yeah.
Tell me more.
And I'm like, so here's what the deal is: if all of us do drugs and we all post about it, then what happens is, and we all view each other's things, we're gonna get views, right? And people are gonna be like, wow, they're doing. Now I don't know what, but like the bottom line is, you're on Twitter wasting time. It is a drug. And like, what's your like ascent going to look like? And instead it's people without like clarity of the content they want to create, but instead following someone's path NFT god saying, well, if you reply to build your audience, and I see a bunch of people reply and be like, yo, I added like 5,000 followers. It's like, well, what are you talking about? Nothing. I'm just replying to other people and telling them that if they reply to other people, that they're also gonna eventually start getting checks from Twitter. So now, like, I've seen 1,000 accounts all telling me that I got to go reply to other people's tweets. This is garbage. Like, this is complete garbage. It's just trash. It's one thing where like YouTubers are creating content and putting in all this effort to like make a video and like trying to figure out how to like create some sort of like content. I just feel like on Twitter, it's not the same.
Well, I was about to say, I think that you are viewing Twitter monetization as a lousy thing because you're viewing the ability to just write a tweet as insanely easy, low friction, which is true. Like, while I'm hosting this show, I can literally like hold the phone right now and write like some BS literally while I'm talking into a microphone. I wouldn't be able to do that making a YouTube video. However, I do believe that they will be able to modify the algorithm to disincentivize people making the shittiest content ever and then reward people that actually do make good stuff. My friend that she got an MFA in writing or whatever the degree is in writing.
The title of our space is now X Monetization is a Scam.
I think that's a good title for this. That's a good title for the space. Nick, you have to keep in mind that like the people that use Twitter, that use X, they do love it. And I think it's actually the single social media platform that a lot of people use. And the monetization on X now is significantly better than YouTube. I mean, we know that firsthand because like you see, Easy was saying he got like a $300 check from X. And our YouTube channel, I'm looking right now, has got $608 in the past 28 days in revenue. So that's about the same average as what Easy's talking about. And that's 5.7 million views on videos on YouTube. And obviously
Isn't
there's
it
more
sad, like the amount of money we're making
I've
on
made
YouTube
more
right now
on Twitter than YouTube. And I've done YouTube for 1 year almost exactly. And I've made more on Twitter since January. Like
payouts from Twitter or brand partnerships?
Just
payouts
from Twitter. I've made about $500 from Twitter, and I'm at like 310 from YouTube. So like, and I looked at all the math, ran the math and everything. I've gotten 2 payments from Twitter. It's a little over $510. I think it's like 514. And YouTube is at just over 300. It's like $306. But the thing, Nick, too, that is to your point about the reply guy stuff, no reply views count towards monetization. So all these people
don't?
No, not a single one. It's only based on your original content. And there's actually a higher incentivization that's paid if people click on your profile, because that's where they generate the ads to. So it's only based on your content. The reason so many people are pushing the reply guy is because you need 5 million views over 3 months, and replies do count for those impressions. So what you're seeing is people will go to like Daily Loud, where they have like a hyper viral post and respond to it. My favorite thing so far that I've ever seen on Twitter is somebody posted like this person died, and someone responded, "Damn, that's crazy," and posted a meme that had like no context to it. And it got like 1.2 million views, and all the comments were like, what is this? Another person responded to like the same thing. Like, those are my favorite things to just scroll and be like, these people are absurd, because they'll respond to like an RIP thing and be like, "Damn, RIP, like this tweet to wish them well." I'm like, bro, what?
What happens if you fall? Can you go back below the threshold?
Yeah, as soon as you're monetized, you're good. So like, for me,
so no, you can't go below the threshold.
No, you can. As soon as you hit it, you're good. As soon as you do 3 months.
What I'm saying is there is no limit. Okay.
Nick's like, so the sky is blue. He's like, yeah, the sky's purple 100%. And then Nick's like, no, I'm saying the sky is blue. And he's like, yeah, the sky is purple. I'm telling you, it's purple.
If you go under 5 million, you're good. Like, you're good. As soon as you hit 5 million once over 3 months and you get the monetization check, you're good for monetization and like indefinitely. It's like,
okay,
you don't need to maintain it.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this. Real quick, Bunny's got his hand raised. Bunny, what's going on?
I'm about to be a reply guy, guys. So that's right. And what happens to the reply gals? Like, what's the deal with them?
They're not monetized. Not monetized.
Bunny, I had a joke to make, but I'm not going to make it. It's inappropriate. Bunny.
With the RIP tweets, like, I never knew we had so many smash mouth, like, diehards in the space. When he passed away, like, There were so many. I'm like, damn, you're really engagement farming off this. And like everyone is a growth expert now. I've seen a thread from somebody was how to grow your account to 100,000 followers. They had 30,000 followers.
Nick loves that. That's the best.
I've seen those as well. Like the whole thing's ridiculous. Also, the other day, the MetaMask story was like the viral tweet. So like we're all seeing something that's going viral. And I'm just like, yeah, I'll yoink that. Like, how many views am I going to get? Like, I had a tweet go viral yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I've been participating in this scam. So yesterday, I saw there's a woman I follow who writes inspiring tweets about starting small businesses, basically. Great job. She has hundreds of thousands of followers. I love her content. She had a tweet that was and I was like, this format is perfect. So I just copy pasted the format. I did adjust it to myself. I didn't just like copy paste the tweet. But I saw the format of it and I was like, well, this is really good. And there's so many of these messages. 3 years ago, I hated my job. And so I wrote it. It has 27,000 views right now. And literally,
which is not viral, Nick. That's like a good tweet. It's not viral.
Well, considering how NFT Twitter's been performing, I've been getting like 3K views on my like GM tweets, which
that's a hyper viral tweet.
I've deleted all my GM tweets at this point. If you're at 100,000, you're killing it. But like, yeah, Dylan Danis' account is a gold mine. He's not being
inappropriate
sued.
content.
He's not being sued for a significant amount. He's like, this is all good. I'm just making billions of impressions. He's a social media person at this point. Like that's his job is social media. His secondary job is practicing at a boxing gym for a couple hours a day.
Literally,
like that's
literally,
that's
like not competing in a formal way ever. But yeah, so he's got 2 jobs. Honestly, a pretty good setup. This is how this is going to play out. This reminds me of early YouTube. You could make a channel and take advantage of the fact that not that many people are on YouTube, and you could get a lot of views, and you could make like real, actual money. In fact, a lot of people probably don't remember this, but there was something called the YouTube Adpocalypse. And this is all the X people out here should listen to this. This is a history lesson because history can repeat itself. Other people say history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. That's the trendy thing to say regarding history. But check it out. There was a YouTube.
It sounds like you're personally hurt by them saying that because you've tried giving these history lessons before and people always reply. So you're like proactively setting up perimeters, the defense perimeter around this as you can. Please continue.
No, it's more that I just know that most people that are going for this stuff, like these cheap kind of wins, they don't do any sort of like, they don't try to gain any sort of like baseline comprehension. But here's your baseline comprehension. There was something called the YouTube Adpocalypse where suddenly ad revenue fell off by, I want to say 60 or 70%. So people were optimizing their channels for ad revenue. They were living their whole lives as full-time YouTubers, and their primary source of money was literally the YouTube ads that popped into the account. When that adpocalypse happened, a lady in Northern California actually went to the YouTube office with a gun and shot people. I don't remember if anybody died, but it was like a mass shooting event. And she literally, like, her note or her manifesto, whatever you call it, was, I was pissed about the adpocalypse. Nick?
Never use the G word on YouTube. Because now the
immediate
video
devalues it.
Yeah,
what did I say? G. Can you spell it?
G.
Bang 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 bang.
Oh, all right. I mean, come on. Like, you know. So
dude,
you mean
we're gonna lose 50 cents because you made that tragic mistake, dude?
I don't
delete the video.
Long. I feel like YouTube doesn't care about our podcast. It's like an hour long. They're going to really find the word in there. So if I was talking about basketball and I was like, God, the Golden State Warriors have a run in GUN offense, they would be like, oh, that's it? You're done?
Channel shut down. You just killed our business, dude. You just killed our business with that.
Anyway, let me just tell you this. Right now, in my opinion, is probably the all-time high in terms of X revenue, because X is not used as much as other social media platforms. I don't even believe it's top 10 in the world. I believe it's top 15, but not top 10 in the world. I'm sure in the United States it's probably it's definitely top 6, but it's not. Nick sent me a stat. YouTube Shorts have 10x more viewers than the entire X platform. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's still a small social media platform. However, this robust monetization is going to attract more creators. So right now, you have an opportunity. Basically, NFT God is the best example that anybody can turn to in our space. You have the opportunity to go and make an NFT God-esque business on X right now. I'm not saying you have to take the identical approach, but you need to have a strategy, build a personal brand, an actual personal brand, not a personal brand that posts pictures of rolling trays with marijuana, unless you want to be a marijuana brand. Like if you want to be like a formal marijuana brand and ink partnerships with bong companies and stuff, you can totally do that. But the thing is the revenue is going to go down so bad for people that are just trying to farm impressions, and the algorithm is realistically going to get auto-corrected to only reward quality content. So right now, I would be going as hard as hell to try to build something for real. If you want to do the reply guy thing, you can do it right now, but the money's going to go down over time. But obviously, go out there and get your money. It's not a lot of money regardless. I mean, it's $300, $400, for the work. Nick, go ahead.
Dude, you could have sat on a corner in New York and asked people for $1, and you would have made more money in like 2 days than the amount of effort you're putting on Twitter replying to people. And that's like the worst case scenario for someone standing on the corner, like asking for money, basically. Like I just feel like a lot of NFT people, I think, are hooked by it the same way that they're hooked by like buying an NFT and hoping they make $20 off of that flip because the math suddenly like adds up. Or if you do a tweet that goes viral, then you're selling like shit, man. I mean, if I was able to just write that tweet, in a couple of minutes, there's no doubt, you extrapolate this out times 12, 24 months, I'm probably going to be bigger than Elon Musk on Twitter.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that any individual person that's participating on X, any individual that's listening to the show can't go and make an X-focused business that ends up changing your life. Of course you can, but you have to dedicate your whole life to that. And you have to study what the best people in the world are doing and actually mimic it. You don't just go, yeah, reply to 15 accounts today. Like, that's not how it works. You have to like actually try. It's like saying you want to be the best basketball player in the world. You should probably watch some film. Nick, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, we've been trying it for 2 years and we're like, okay.
We have not been trying. We have not been focused on written tweets on X. We definitely have not.
I didn't say written tweets. I'm just saying like, we've been focused on X. We've been focused on Twitter, by the way, which is what this platform is called.
But only the audio component, which is a very small component compared to the written component. I'm just pointing it out.
You're now getting into the weeds of the specific. You're saying if you want to get good at something, practice. Yes. What have we been doing for the past 2 years? Live Twitter Spaces,
which is a small component, though. The real meat and potatoes on X is written tweets.
I get the point. I understand the point. I'm just specifically saying maybe you can understand the words that I'm saying. Huh?
I'm listening, buddy. I'm listening.
Nick saying the sky is blue. Pio saying the sky is purple. And
he's like, no, I understand. And I'm saying yes, and you're saying yes, but. So there's a distinction between those two separate things. I'm saying, yeah, you're totally right. And we've been doing it for 2 years and we're mediocre. So I'm just breaking down for you. It's pretty clear.
But I wanted to come through with the butt again. Well, your exchange with Easy, I do want to get a clip of because that was pretty funny. Bunny has his hand raised again. Bunny, what's going on?
Dude, the whole reply guy thing is like a myth made up by big accounts to like perpetuate people replying to them. Like Daily Loud is one of the biggest accounts on Twitter. Like they don't sit there replying to people all day long. Dude. They post their own content and then they move on. They don't even reply to their own fucking tweets.
Well, Bunny, you're right. But that's a quality brand that has a position in the world that isn't just, writing BS on Twitter. However, it is true that if you reply to accounts, it's an easy way to rack up some impressions compared to writing your own stuff. It really just depends. Look, people need to do what they got to do to build a sizable social media presence for themselves. The easiest way to do that is to work really hard and make quality content over a long period of time. That's just a fact. But look, we've gone long on this. One interesting thing oh, damn, it's 9:35. Oh man, we have been going. Wow. That's pretty wild. I literally thought it was like 9:18. Well, hey, it's a good conversation. We're having some fun. I'm kind of blown away by how long
we're
we've
going
been
to do a
doing this.
weather report. Is that happening? The newsletter? We're going to dive into that at all at some point during the show?
So this is like a moment for me right now. I'm impressed that it's 9:35 right now. That's number one. Number two, I was enjoying the conversation. Number three, this is giving me a lot to think about because it's like pretty late in the show right now, and we haven't even gotten to the weather report. This is pretty interesting because I was
more validation about that we've been at this for 2 years, and it's like, okay.
Well, one thing I was going to say, and now I guess we technically don't have time to talk about it, I suppose, is this is back to the Justin Bieber thing. Did you see the Theo Von video, Nick, that just came out about how he got robbed by an industry guy and he calls him out by name?
No, I got an alert about it. I feel like I got an alert about it.
So this has 1.8 million views. Theo Von's going to catch some money from this. And by the way, Theo Von, before, even after Elon had bought X, Theo Von was posting tweets on X, on Twitter. And I'm calling it X because if you call it Twitter, people are like, it's X now. And I am one of those people. I will adopt the new name. Theo Von was posting a link to the YouTube videos on X. He doesn't do that anymore. He posts the video on X, which is what Elon wants him to do. And that one right there is a juicy video because he calls up basically an industry, what do you call it? Like an industry snake that stole $4 million from him and the other podcasters on his network. And he does it on X, gets the millions of impressions. And I feel like he's going to make up some of that money from doing that. And it's going to attract more creators to drop on X. I'm just pointing it out. The industry side, people are still getting screwed all the time, whether it's film industry, music industry, apparently podcast, radio industry, you still got snakes. Yeah, he's got it posted across platforms here. He got more views on X than he got on YouTube. I'm just saying that's something that, and he's for sure going to make more revenue off that individual post on X versus the YouTube post, for sure.
Well, Twitter views, I feel like aren't the same thing. YouTube is focused on watch time. That was the biggest thing, I think, for watching what Mr. Beast posted yesterday with his A/B test thing, was that his focus wasn't how many more views did I get as a result of switching my thumbnail. It was how did watch time get impacted? And ultimately, that's what he's optimizing for. Yet everyone on Twitter is optimizing for views, which is like this fast, digestible, not great content. And so a lot of people won't watch the whole video. I think his, Theo Von's video probably got solid watch time. I don't know how many people watched what's his name that interviewed the crackhead that hooked up with Obama?
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. I don't know what the watch time on the Tucker Carlson. If the watch time is greater than 2% on that video, I'm embarrassed for society, basically, that we watched a crackhead, literally just a potentially homeless crackhead, come on and talk about when he hooked up with Obama in the 90s, and that's like a half-hour interview from Tucker Carlson doing the deep investigation that we need. But I just don't know. I'm really curious what the actual watch time is on this stuff. Anyways, we're way off the rails with this.
No, it's good though. It's good. I'm actually really glad that we're doing it. I'm trying to share something here. So I don't know. I just want to make sure I don't share anything.
I know. I have it pulled up. I can share it.
You have it pulled up. You do it, please. So Nick, I'm walking yesterday, and I just got a smirk on my face, and I was like, let me just do this real quick. So I texted Clemente, "Yo, can I tell you something?" ? So imagine if your employer texted you, "Yo, can I tell you something?" ? You're probably gonna be like, "What the hell is this guy about to say to me?" And I'm like, "Please let him respond right away. Please let him respond right away." And he just goes, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, this guy is hanging on it." And I just responded with, this thing right here. I don't even want to say it out loud on the show. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought I got easy with one of these like almost a year ago when the Central C song came out. I don't know if you remember that, Easy. I got you with something similar.
So one of the commenters says, "LOL, maybe it's true," and I'm like, "Great!" like, why does that matter? I don't understand. Like, he already admitted to doing cocaine. So I want to, he wrote that in his book. Now, I don't know what happened on the next level. He downplayed what it was maybe in the book. He was like, yeah, I had some moments, doing cocaine at parties and stuff like that, having depressed nights where I was sitting in a corner, writing my personal life as I was doing cocaine. But I think that's different than what he skipped from that was that he was out on the street buying crack and doing crack with crackheads that he was having sexual interactions with, which to me does feel like a jump. Like there is a little bit of a distinction between someone that was had a drug problem, but someone that had that drug problem really evolved to full blown the despair of addiction. The worst addiction state possible, where you're maybe giving BJs to, crackheads on the street. That to me seems like a real, that feels like a major jump between those two states. So I to accuse Obama of that, it's hard for me to picture him having gone down to that depth. Call it a bounce back. If anything, this is the most inspiring story of all time.
Becoming the president of the United States twice.
Obama should have put that into the story. He was at one point, I was a crackhead doing blowjobs for money and to try and get more crack. But now I'm president of the United States. Kids, you can do anything with your life. Believe me. I feel like that's an inspiring story. But instead, Tucker Carlson is focused on okay, so give me details about now, where did he touch you? How did that feel? How did that feel? Was that physically stimulating? Was that something that you found it physically enjoyable? How far did it go? And he's like, well, Tucker, I'll tell you. Let me just tell you, I reached the objective that we were both, aiming for during that moment, if you know what I'm saying. And so it was just absolute pleasure during that moment. Never would I realize that man who sucked my junk for crack was going to one day become president of the United States.
So it's quite the glow up. If that, the bounce back, as you called it, I feel like they could make a movie about that. Dare I say it? I had been paying attention to Carlson's content because of the reach it was getting. And it was actually some pretty juicy stuff. He interviewed RFK, he interviewed Vivek, he interviewed Trump. It was pretty good stuff. I was surprised that the follow-up to those interviews was this one. It was surprising to me.
It was I got Donald Trump and now I'm interviewing a crackhead. Maybe what he's trying to do is maybe imply that Donald Trump is a crackhead. That could have been the other thing that he was potentially trying to imply via the sequencing. That was an editorial decision right there.
I really was getting pumped. We got long form interviews with presidential candidates on both sides. I was like, oh man. And the interviews are pretty good. He's not doing softball things. And then he's sitting there, like you said, Nick, the look on the face with the crackhead. I'm like, dude, how are you sitting here with a straight face like that? You flew this guy in, you flew this dude in and put him up in a hotel for this interview. It's just kind of wild to me. I'm still forming my opinion about this show.
To be fair, I think maybe it just shows how good at content Tucker Carlson is. I think it actually shows how good at content it is. He basically was you know what we should do? Him and his team, they're in the back room being we should start. Dude, we have no limits. Fox News wouldn't have let us interview a crackhead, but on Twitter, we can go interview crackheads that make ludicrous claims about Obama. This is what I've been waiting for. We're going to make a fortune. And by the way, why aren't we doing this, guys? Why is this show? Why have we not gone to that level? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We're watching evolution. This is like when Stephen Curry figured out that he could take threes from deep, like way behind the 3-point line. You're allowed to take threes on fast breaks. For a lot of time, taking threes on fast breaks in basketball was very taboo. Even if you hit the three, the coach would put you on the bench. And Stephen Curry showed no, transition threes are a thing. Maybe that's what Tucker Carlson's doing. We're going to get into the weather report in just 1 second. Oh, yeah, this is a juicy ass interview right here from Carlson. He's doing Bitcoin interviews with the Argentine presidential candidates. Let's go, Tucker. Like, I can get behind that.
He wasn't doing a Bitcoin interview. The way you did Bitcoin interviews, he's interviewing the presidential candidate.
Right, but he's probably going to ask at least one Bitcoin question, and that is a juicy, substantive interview right there. Come on, admit it, Nick. You don't have to, like, take the opposite position on me with everything. Admit this is like a pretty juicy interview. I mean, come on.
So I just want to apologize. None of the parents are going to hear this right now because they stopped listening moments ago. Because I just want to apologize if your kids were around and you didn't have headphones on for where that this conversation took a hard turn. I just want to apologize for that. You know, but here's what I can guarantee you can expect moving forward. A lot more of that, because this seems to perform incredibly well is when we're just talking about absolute hot garbage. So like we're going to be optimizing for that. And I think
I feel like it was all quality shit. I feel like it was all quality stuff. Real quick, one thing, didn't expect this given the range of topics we've talked about today. The one group I'm getting attacked by, fun fact, this is very interesting stuff. The group I'm currently getting attacked by on Twitter, not political Twitter, not left people, not right people, not people that are focused on X monetization. It is marijuana Twitter is attacking me. We got marijuana Twitter hating on me for my takes. Lame asses hating on weed Twitter, he said. I love it. The hating on weed Twitter bad. Very interesting stuff. Didn't expect that. Shout out to marijuana Twitter defending their turf. Love to see it. Bunny, you got your hand raised. Before we go to the weather report, what's going on?
My son just asked me after Nick's monologue, he asked me why Obama was sucking somebody's junk for crack, and I told him crack's expensive.
He did not say. Get out of here, buddy. You're making this a dirty show, buddy. Signal, are you here with us?
Yeah, sorry, I just came back from sucking someone's junk. Thursday, the 7th, September the 7th, market volume at 10 million, Blur at 4.5, OpenSea at 2.7. Onto the market leaders, the high caps are slightly in the red, but there's been no major movement as the largest loser, D-Gods, is only down 3%. Onto OnlyForce is down 11% over the last 24 hours after someone bought over 60 and then just goes and dumps them all over the floor only 18 hours later. They took a 0.1 ETH loss on each one. OnlyForce currently sitting at a 0.68 ETH floor. Over the past 24 hours, we've talked about NFT God, the famous thread writer. He is going to rebrand from the NFT God name in order to scale and go bigger on his content. The end goal is to eventually change his name and his profile picture to Alex Finn over the course of multiple months. Over to a conference that happened earlier in the year, VCon, they announced that Ed Balloon is the artist behind the 2023 tickets. The tickets have now been revealed into a music video short titled I Need Friends and features 10 variations of visuals, borders, and colors. Onto the art market, the art trades continue this week. Someone has traded a Sam Spratt Player Edition for an X-Copy Grifter. Both of these collections are neck and neck at a 9 ETH floor, while grifters had almost 3% the supply. Obviously, this move continues to establish Sam Spratt as one of the leaders in this space. And then lastly, we've talked about Justin, but Justin Bieber's Songs Company had a 1% of its royalties split between 2,000 NFTs that sold out this morning at $28 each on base. While this is an interesting experiment by Justin Bieber's producer, the 7-year-old song would likely need a surge back to popularity in order for NFT holders to break even. That is all for the last 24 hours. It is back to you guys in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. I was caught off guard by the way you led there. Some updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. You need to have an account at thenifty.com for the Nifty Daily Digest. That's also where we give away free NFTs almost daily on this show. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest. All you investors out there know Kathy Wood has applied for the first spot Ethereum ETF, just days after the SEC has delayed the Bitcoin ETF decisions, and if approved, would custody the assets with Coinbase Custody Trust Company. SugarTown, the Web3 gaming project by Zynga, has announced their Auras collection mint details, which includes 9,999 total NFTs minting for free on September 13th, and only available in the United States, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. Arkham Intelligence has claimed that they have identified Grayscale Bitcoin Trust's holdings on chain, and if accurate, would make Grayscale the second largest Bitcoin entity in the world, holding over $16 billion of Bitcoin. I mean, that makes sense considering it was like the single way for people to get exposure to Bitcoin through institutional means for years, and kind of basically still is, even though it's a dumpster fire. I also saw some tweets about this that point towards fraud for the digital currency group. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
It's a great picture. It looks like stars in the sky. I like how they created this network and how it's connected. Considering the fact that like the network doesn't actually visually look like anything, like there's no distribute, like whoever created the visualization like laid it out so elegantly. Ridiculous.
Last but not least, Deadfellaz has announced the launch of RIP TCG, an immersive 3D trading card game with its alpha version expected to go live in 2024 and beta in 2025. In addition, there will be a sale of 30,000 trading card vaults with Deadfellaz holders able to purchase at a discount. So some trading card action with a long-term plan out of the Deadfellaz camp. First topic here, we have SugarTown by Zynga minting next week. Clemente, what are you smiling about, Clemente?
Sorry, I'm getting distracted by all the comments. I want to say real quick, to quickly touch on Deadfellaz, it's kind of wild that they're selling. I was a Deadfellaz holder for a while. I lost a significant amount of capital on that. But real quick, it is interesting that they're selling 30,000 cards, even though the game is not going to go live until alpha in 2024 and beta in 2025. So it was interesting. I guess.
Wait,
this
they're
will be used.
So you got to pay for this?
It's free to play, but I guess to own some of the cards, you got to pay for it. Some of these, if you want to buy it and you don't own a Deadfellaz, you got to pay $100 per vault, per pack that you open. And the game won't come out until 2024 in alpha and 2025 in beta, which I thought was interesting.
Is this a play because of Parallel Alpha's success?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of us are looking at this sort of space. I mean, we have our own sort of dynamics on our platform. Stayed up late last night, messed up my sleep, fixing the next feature to roll out to add some of these dynamics. But I think a lot of people are thinking about it. Parallel Alpha is absolutely crushing it. It is interesting how like the feed operates in like themes. So like yesterday I was getting a bunch of Pudgy Penguin stuff all of a sudden. I don't know if you all were experiencing this. And I'm like, where are all these tweets coming? Like, why is my feed?
Luca spoke at Korea Blockchain Week, and people were very, very impressed with the statements. Like 30 minutes of just pure alpha, I guess, is what people were referring to it as, of him just like dropping heaters throughout the entire speech.
He had some good one-liners. The thing I'm curious about is revenue, the $10 million. What channels that's actually coming from? Because like Amazon doesn't appear to be the source where that's taking place. So didn't they do 2 limited run drops? How much did they make from those?
They've done 3. Yeah, I mean, those are, I believe retail on those is 100 to 300 in that range for 500 supply.
Okay, so call it, even if you have 300 times 500, so that's 150,000. You do 3 of those, you're up to 450,000. You do they did do a few $1 million on Amazon of the Pudgy Penguins. I guess it's not a far cry at that point, as long as it's it's growing. I do wonder though, like where those sales are coming from. I'm just curious from like an e-commerce standpoint, like where that's happening. Is it primarily through like retail partners? Like, I have no idea. It seems interesting to me. And it's one of his tweets was talking about the $1 billion sticker brands in Asia, which I think is
Line or whatever it is.
Yeah, but Line is the one. What are the brands that succeeded on Line that made $1 billion?
I'm not sure of specific brands.
But I think that angle would be good to study and to know about if you're doing e-commerce.
Yeah, I mean, the stickers online were huge. I used Line primarily to communicate with friends in Japan. That's the area of the world that appears to be primarily focused online. I don't know how many other. Obviously, it's a global messaging platform, but like, none of my other contacts use their platform. But like, Line raised $1 billion from like in 2016. But I'm wondering, like, what are the $1 billion sticker brands? Stickers made $280 million for Line last year. That was in 2016. So I'm maybe they're up to like 2022. Maybe they had a huge in 2020, direct sticker sales accounted for $200 million of Line's revenue.
Damn.
But I'm still confused. What are the $1 billion sticker brands? There's some of these lines that I'm trying to parse to really understand versus like, those are heater lines versus like, I really would love to understand fundamentally what these reference points are and how that's actually happening on a practical level. Because it's easy. Dude, Super Plastic, the brand, supposedly did like $10 million in revenue last year. So Pudgy Penguins in 6 months has done more, as much revenue as Super Plastic did in all of last year, who's also raised
No, the 10 million, they're on track. They're on track to do 10 million.
So
10 million hasn't booked.
Got its run rate.
Yeah.
For this year though, 2023. That's
Yes.
a crazy number. If that's accurate, that's the thing where I'm just like, where the hell are these numbers coming from? I appreciate those things, but I would be surprised if they made a few $1 million on NFTs. But that's the thing that I just
NFTs
don't.
are toys.
So, sorry,
Toys.
if someone does it on toys, that would be an impressive thing. It's surprising to me that they're at $10 million in revenue, because that like puts them in like a pretty high category straight out the gate.
Yeah.
And that's solely, and then I'm just like, well, that's really interesting. I understand Pudgy has IP, but I think of Pudgy's IP being primarily viral in the NFT space. I understand they have Giphy views. I understand they have Instagram views, but how many of those people that are watching those like GIFs are like, yo, Pudgy Penguins, I gotta buy that like there's a leap that takes place from Money Printer Go Burr GIF to me buying a physical product that costs $20, $30, $40 or something like that.
Mhm.
And that's something that I'm wondering about. Someone said plushies, and I did look into this last night. So if you go for like trending, stuffed toys is one of the, like, if you go to Google Trends, one of the just consistently growing categories. So I do think that that's interesting. I just want to know what that breakdown is, because I'm like incredibly fascinated by like where that growth is coming from, and that's like an incredible success story beyond like they're just a huge toy company at this point. I don't know. I think it's impressive.
Oh yeah, it would be absolutely incredible if they were already if they pull in 10 million bucks this year. That's wild.
So here's an example. Line's here's the quote. This is 2022 September. Line's 10 biggest creators have made more than $10 million in sales of their stickers in the past decade. Where the fuck is $1 billion sticker brand coming from? Like, I just don't understand where those statements, like $10 million is insane for the top stickers online. Some of these numbers, there's just some of the numbers that I feel like are borderline inflated, which I'd like to see where that's coming from. But I mean, to Luca's credit, he's doing a great job being an advocate of Pudgy Penguins and is having phenomenal results. And there's very few. What he's proving, if anything else, is that building a legitimate business has the potential to maybe sustain the floor of an NFT project. And that's something that I think is quite fascinating. I think Pudgy and D-Gods are right now at the same level. Some days Pudgy is higher. And I think that that's just like, I'm impressive and a playbook that I think more people are going to follow moving forward, considering the fact that all of the meta before this was literally, I'm going to go create nothing other than some images, sell it to you, and then go do nothing as well.
Yeah, but those people weren't, actually serious about making startups. We've come to find out. I think there was a belief that's a whole different conversation. Maybe we can get Luke on the show when he comes back to Korea and we can dig into some of these details at a more granular level to kind of break down the numbers if he's willing to share that. I guess last thing that we should talk about, just because we wanted to talk about it yesterday, but we ran out of time and we probably wouldn't talk about it tomorrow, so might as well just get it in today, is this Creator League launch being postponed. So is it eFuse? Excuse me, eFuse, the company behind Creator League, announced that they are postponing the launch of Creator League to reevaluate and to find the best strategy going forward. They clarified that no NFTs and no crypto will be used. Don't worry about it. We're going to use the older, shittier technology. And they were simply using the near blockchain to store the past data. We will assure you, this thing's going to go down. This is going to be a legendary document in like 15 years. That is just an indicator of the current state of affairs with reputation on NFTs and crypto during the bottom of a cyclical bear market. Very fun to see this stuff.
The presidential candidates at that point are probably going to be posting copies of the Creator League press release and the debacle that occurred at that moment. We're all going to, are any of us going to remember Creator League 10 years from now? Maybe. I mean, dude, can you imagine if we're doing this show 10 years from now? I actually hope that we're not, Theo. I'm going to throw it out. My grand vision for the future is that we're not doing this exact show in 10 years.
No,
I just feel like it's not.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's going to be going on.
Show. No, we have to grow.
I do think we'll have it in a few years. So it could be 2-3 years. We may still be here. Hopefully
2 years, not that long. We've already been doing it for 2 years. So
yeah.
I feel like another 2 years is an easy one, but no, in 10 years it would be significantly better. You hope, or we just failed. So hopefully it's the former and not the latter. But Easy, any insight into this Creator League drama?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not too upset by the response. Some people thought that it was a poor response. I was like, yeah, I think it was fine, all things considered. And I think that the way that they kind of drove the statement around, because they can't be transferred, they're not NFTs, also shows some level of lack of understanding when it comes to that side of things. So for me, it's like, I'm excited for the Creator League personally. I hope that it does get some traction because I think it's a cool and innovative use case and a decent way for them to actually drive some level of engagement from communities and show that there is value to be had with like community involvement when it comes to the esports area. And I just wish that it resonated a little bit better than it has. Because this is the tough part, is like so much of the sentiment is like NFTs suck. We hate these stupid things. Why are you doing this? And a bunch of them are like, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, fine. I won't do it. I'm leaving. I'm done with this. So that was kind of the thing for me where I was like, damn, I wish it was more well received, because that would have been a win overall for the space, in my opinion.
I just think that this is the natural evolution of what's happening. Like, I just think this is an indication of the moment in time that we're in. Obviously, there isn't depth of understanding. I don't think I'm out of line saying that there isn't a significant depth of understanding from these folks. I'm just saying.
There is a depth of understanding, but the way they've worded it is it's so that they show to the public that as if they don't understand what blockchain technology is. Like, there's no way this could have been implemented without a tech team who understands this, and a product manager who understands this and has communicated this to the sales and the business development team. Here, they're just trying to dodge the bullet by saying that because they can't be transferred, they are not NFTs, but essentially the language we would use would be it's a soul-bound NFT, right? And here they're just trying to like sort of skirt around the fact that if we don't say that it involves NFT technology to the public, then, you know, we get away with this. I think, you know, it's interesting to contrast with what David Bianchi, when he was on the show, and how they're leaning into the power of distribution here. And then Creator League, obviously they have such big names on the roster, they don't want to tarnish their reputation. But I could totally see another company coming in, working with much smaller creators who are happy to lean into Web3 and being successful within their niche and within their lane. I think Nick is right. I don't think anyone will be talking about this 6 months from now, but I would hope that maybe a different startup would lean into Creator League ideas and power distribution of connecting fans with community, with gaming, with different niches, and not being embarrassed by it from a business perspective.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, the people that made it from a technical perspective understand that they are NFTs. I think you're right that smaller creators will lead to the kind of gradual change in narrative surrounding NFTs to the gaming community. If you talk to any gaming expert that's followed gaming over like a decade or whatever, they'll all point out that I think it was in-game currency was the thing that was hated on by gamers at first, and then it eventually, was accepted. It's something like that. I'm not a gaming person. We could have Board Elon or have Jonah or one of the gaming people on the show to talk about that at some point. But yeah, I think that's it for Creator League. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Juicy one today, fun one today. We'll be back with a free NFT tomorrow, so make sure you have an account at thenifty.com. The show's also available on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Also available on YouTube if you want to watch the video stream. We appreciate you all listening.